I wasn't even live. I wasn't even live. I've been here for 2 minutes, almost 3 minutes. I made a whole joke and then I explained the entire joke. And don't nobody was here for it. So that's what we're talking. Anyway, that was for me. That was just for me to start everything with that. Hello, good afternoon, evening, whatever freaking time it is these days. Today, I was thinking about some things. I was sitting there thinking about death. Not thinking about death necessarily, but thinking about the other places. You ever seen the other places before? You know, some people call them heaven. Other people call it like Elysium or Asgard or freaking. Oh, there's tons of examples. Heaven. Some of them call it hell. I don't know. Whatever the case may be. I'm not showing that. Okay. Whatever the case may be, I've been thinking about it. Okay. So there is this this TV show called, what is it called? There's a TV show called Doctor Who. I watched this a couple of years ago, and also no, it wasn't just Doctor Who. It was Doctor Who and a couple other. Oh, what's the name of the freaking thing? Dang, what is it called? Doctor Who and a Stargate. The name of the thing was Stargate, okay? And so, and I was kind of watching these both at the same time. Now, I'm going to start with Stargate here. So, Stargate, essentially, what I can basically describe is they went to a planet that could be very, very similar to hell. Okay, like the place the bad people go, the people who do really bad sins and all that, and have no space for forgiveness and everything like that. You know, those people, they go down there, right? And then there's this other thing. This is other media set, and this is something I think about a lot. This is a video game series called Doom, where this big super soldier guy goes down into hell, or hell invades Earth, or whatever the case may be, whatever he's into. Basically, they go down into hell, but hell is an actual place, and in this case, it's a planet. You're picking up what I'm putting down here. So I'm thinking, what if we made a planet today? That would be kind of cool. And then, like, from there, we can kind of build off of that. Like, what's going on the planet, do this other stuff. I don't know. I didn't really have, like, that big of an idea today when I was making this, this here stream idea. But I just wanted to do something for the stream tonight. Because I like it. I like making art. And so a couple years ago, the Doctor Who part as well. The Doctor Who part is, I think there was an episode where they actually go to where the devil, the devil, like the person, Lucifer, or whatever, they go to a place where the devil is chained up in this asteroid or whatever the case may be. I'm like, that's pretty cool. That's pretty neat. And I might be mixing up my series here because I was watching them both at the same time. But nonetheless, some shit was going down on some television thing, and I loved it. I said, that's where I want to do. So that's what we're going to do. So check this out. Alright, I'm going to write down a couple of them. And I'm going to do a little diagram just for fun, okay? So this is Earth. We're going to call, okay. We're going to start here. Just for fun, okay? We're going to start here. This heaven. Oh, my keyboard's not plugged in. Hold on. Sorry. Give me a second. Ignore that. Give me one moment. I didn't even know the keyboard wasn't even plugged in. Okay, check this out. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna say, just for fun, this is heaven. Okay? We're saying that this is heaven. Alright? We're gonna just freaking have it. Okay? And then this is Earth. This is Earth. Okay, and then you could probably guess what this is. It's the moon, okay? And so my idea is that heaven here is a planet. In something really interesting to me is in the Church of the Latter-day Saints, or the Mormons. And I haven't done full research on this, and I don't know what's true, what's made up, or what I'm just making up for myself. But apparently, in the Church of Latter-day Saints, the Book of Mormon, they talk about how God, the God, the highest of all highs, has a planet that he lives on. Okay? And that planet, I'm just gonna go ahead and write it down here. Just for the fun of what we're doing. That planet name is Kolob, I believe. Okay, hold on. I'll make sure that's right. Kolob is the star or planet described in the Latter-day Saint Book of Abraham. The pearl of great price is the celestial body nearest to the throne of God. It represents creation and governs the other planets. This term symbolizes supreme authority, divine. Term symbolizes great supreme authority, divine intelligence, and is associated with celestial time. Okay, that's pretty interesting. Okay, so let's say I'm just reading some other things here just because I'm looking at Google. Apparently is described as the greatest of all stars because it's closest to God. Its role in the cosmology of this whatever is the governing body designed to manage other stars and planets. It represents a hierarchy of intelligences, with God being the most intelligent. Okay, time calculation: 1 revolution of Kolob equals 1 day to the Lord, which is equivalent to something around 1,000 years on Earth. With relativity in mind, that could be where my idea is that I'm choosing to believe this just for this here. So, and especially, I mean, that's the science part of this, where I'm like, that could be real, because 1 revolution, because all the planets kind of spin differently. Like freaking Mercury, I don't know how long their days are exactly, but I know it takes like 80 something days to get all the way around the Earth, or all the way around the sun, and so on and so forth. Okay, so I'm sitting here thinking, what if we so what if this is real, and this is a physical location that you can go and see God? Obviously, you'd have to travel a little. You travel very fast and get places, but just work with me here, okay? So there's that. Okay, there's a couple other descriptions of things. This one's not as much of a circle as it is I'm going to do a rectangle. I'm gonna do a rectangle, okay? We're gonna do a rectangle. We're gonna go boom. And then this one is Asgard. Okay. Now, Asgard is the Norse mythology version of heaven, or where, at least where the gods live. Now, this, again, same idea. I think just like the descriptions of it, I don't think it's like it could be a planet. I'm just like making shit up right now. I'm just really saying whatever is coming to my mind. I think it's like kind of a moving space, but it is a physical location because these people have talked about it in these stories and everything like that. It could be a physical location where everybody lives and they have all their magical powers, everything like that. Okay. And then we're gonna go with I'm gonna go with, for the next one, we're gonna go with, oops, we're gonna talk about hell slash underworld. Now this is an interesting one. Okay, so so where I think they got the idea is they went into the volcano. All right, like they saw volcanoes and they saw this just like burning thing, and the way that sometimes lava flow, it looks like bodies. Like, hold on, hold on. Lava flow. Lava flow looks like bodies. So here's an example, if I can find it. Hello? That's fine. So here's an example of where I think the idea of hell came from. So this, I mean, looking at this, if I can get it right. Looking at this, I mean, that looks like a bunch of bodies. And if you're like near a volcano or something like that, or you see like a cavern or something like that, and you see all these bodies going into it, you think, and it looks like they're all dead and they're all being punished and everything like that. That's sort of what it looks like. So you think all of the bodies go into hell, the dead people, and also like you think about like how people are buried, like the tradition of burial and everything like that. That there's something like that. My idea, and also Doom, again, the game Doom. I think. Hold on. I'm gonna make sure I'm right with this. Where is hell in Doom? Where is hell in Doom? Hell is, okay. Hell is a dimension, or at least in this series, it's a dimension existing outside of normal time and space. Which a lot of other media that I've watched that kind of holds up as well. It's sort of a well, it's an afterlife, so it's like whatever happens after this life. So it's something that sort of just exists. I don't know. Like, I'm making shit up right now, y'all. But anyway, I like how I'm really like getting mad because I can't make sense of this, even though this is something that no one has been able to make sense of because you have to die first to find out about it. Anyway, just in this stream, I'm gonna try to bring myself back here. In this stream, hell slash the underworld is... Okay, we're gonna... Hold on, let's... Okay. Alright, here's my idea. We're gonna have fun now. We're gonna have... Okay, guys, you ready? Are we gonna have fun? Are we gonna have fun today? I think so. Let's go ahead and look up where my stream is, first of all. Person 1, come on, me. Hold on. I'm just gonna make sure there's nobody speaking on my stream here. Where my stream is, first of all. Okay. Anyway. So, okay, here's my ideas. There's a couple different ways of doing this. Okay. We're gonna say, for Earth specifically, we're gonna say that's... I don't like that color. Hold on. Let's go with that. I don't like that color either, but you know what? That's fine. That's Earth. That's where we live right now, as we live and exist. We got the green. We got the freaking green. We're good. Okay. I think that there is a disconnect because how humans die, how our souls exist within our bodies, most of the time we are buried, and for most of us, not all cultures bury, some of them do other things, but most of us are buried, and then our stuff is returned to the earth. And now you wonder, where does the soul go? Does the soul leave the body the moment that the thing is... And there's always, like, in a lot of media, people are like, you see somebody who died and there's like, we have to bury them. It's right. So I'm thinking about, like, why do you have to do that? That's what I'm thinking about here. I'm jumping all over the place right now. So I think we're gonna go ahead and put a purple, because I think purple is like kind of a... yeah, right about that purple. That's kind of more of a blue, but that's okay. Now this is a kind of... I'm really getting into it right now. I have two conflicting ideas right now. So we're gonna start with idea one. So idea one, just trying to go off of what I'm saying. So when you die, you enter the in-between realm. And this idea is for... this idea is for Earth-centric soul travel. Okay? Earth-centric soul travel. So the idea is when we die, our souls stay on Earth and reconnect to Earth in whatever way. Okay? Earth-centric soul travel is what this one is. So I think... I have so many conflicting things. I guess this is... I'm gonna, and if I offend anybody, my bad. Pagan tradition. Pagan tradition. Okay? Question mark, just in case I'm wrong. This is how I think it goes. So when you die, your soul gets returned to the earth, and then you are born again, so reincarnation. You come right back. So that's basically it. So there's the spirit world inside of the earth, and then there's the you go right back to earth in whatever form you go into. Those are the two there. So we're gonna go ahead merge these layers. I think that's that feels right in my head. Okay, and now there is the, I guess Abrahamic. Again, I don't do research. This is me just coming up with shit right now. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and go to Earth again. Okay, that's Earth. That's a better color. So there's Earth. There is... I actually don't even know if it's Abrahamic. There's Earth. There's Hell within... Oops. Oh, it doesn't have to be perfect. There's Hell, and then... And then there is... And then there is heaven. Oops. So there's earth, there's hell, and then there's heaven. And just make it a little smaller just so we can... And so when you die, depending on what you've done on your time in earth, on earth, whatever, depending on your time, you either go to hell or you go to heaven. Okay? And then you live in either one of those. We're just going to say Christian. We're going to say Christian because I think that's what it is. Christian idea. Okay. So, you either go... So, this is... You only get one life here. As far as I'm understanding. You only get one life here on Earth, on the green. On the green. And then if you are bad, you go to the red. If you're good, you go to the yellow. The yellow is much more pleasant than the red. Okay? That's the idea there. I'm going to merge those. That's the Christian idea. I'm missing 2,000 years of history as well, so whatever. Okay. And here's my idea. So, there is Earth. That's not Earth. Because the universe is so big. It's so big. We can't be the only things out there. Okay? So we're gonna make ourselves really small, okay? So that's Earth. Okay, and I think just for fun, I think the majority of these gods and goddesses and everything like that that have been told through stories, I feel like there's some sort of reality in it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead. We're going to bring back Asgard. Where did it go? Blue. Alright, we're bringing back Asgard. Okay, we're going to merge these two layers. So Asgard exists out there, and I think that the Asgardians, and they also have a couple friends from other places. They also have all the 9. They apparently have 9 realms, which, you know what? I got time. What time is it? I got 20. I'm only 26 minutes in. Like, I got time. We're gonna do all of them. 9 realms. Nope. The 9 realms. Norse. Okay, so there's Asgard in our language, Midgard, or well, in the ancient Nordic languages, Midgard is Earth. Okay. That's that. So Asgard, let's put Asgard at the top. Asgard, oops. Midgard. Jotunheim. I'm just gonna make it a circle because I feel like it's a planet. Jotnheim. Jotunheim, which is the realm of the ice giants. So there are these giant people who live on an ice planet, and they have magical ice abilities. Okay, that's that's sort of that's sort of their thing. That's Jotunheim. Okay, and then there is Vanaheim, which I'm interested in, just because it's sort of kind of a similar thing to what we got. So it's a little bigger than I wanted it, but Vanaheim, we'll just kind of do, in my mind, this is what color it is. A little brighter than that, actually. Okay. Now, I don't know, again, this is all just me making shit up, so I don't know how big these actually are, but Vanaheim. And so Vanaheim, I think, is interesting, and I'm sort of interested in, it is like a really big, like, natural world, like Mother Nature kind of world, where they have a lot of just plants and nature kind of things. I think that's my understanding. Let's look at the Google review here. So, home of the Vanir, group of gods associated with fertility in nature. So that's sort of what Vanaheim is. Okay, there's Alfheim, which I have absolutely no clue about. I have not looked into this at all, but the fact that it's mentioned means something, probably. Okay. Alfheim. I'm gonna do white. I feel like I'm yelling also. This is Alfheim. So Alfheim is the realm of the light elves, a beautiful, radiant world. And they say world. I didn't say world. They said the Google said world. Okay. That's Alfheim, and I don't need to copy that. I just need to do. There's Svartalheim. There's Svartalheim and Nidavellir. Oops. Now I kind of see this as a brown, a little bit of a brown kind of situation. Now there's Svartalheim and Nidavellir, which are as far as I understand, the home of the dwarves. The dwarves. The subterranean dark realm of the dwarves, renowned for crafting. There's here's something we're familiar with. Well, the name at least. is here's one you haven't heard before. Let me go with orange. Or is it? Hold on, let me look this up. I might be wrong. Helheim's a different color. Helheim. Okay, so this next one is called Helheim, which it's not actually like the typical. Which is not actually the typical. Not Helheim. H-E-L. H-E-I-M. Helheim is basically the same thing as Underworld or Hell in our minds. Okay? Hold on, let me look at this up. No. Go back. Helheim is the underworld realm of the dead, ruled by Hel, where those who die. This is very specific, actually. The underworld of the dead, ruled by the goddess Hel. Her name is H-E-L. That's why it's called Helheim. Actually, I think I'm gonna look up Heim in a minute, but where those who die of sickness or old age go. That's interesting. I didn't know that part. I thought it was just. I guess they have like, what's it called? They have different. Ooh, that's interesting. We're coming back. They have different places that souls go when they die. That's interesting. Okay, so there's Helheim, and now we're gonna do. This one's gonna be red. All right, so I'm gonna do like a little. We're just gonna go ahead and just do the rest of these. We're gonna work through it. Sorry, I thought I heard something. Moose. I'm spelling that wrong. Muspelheim. Copy. Paste. Muspelheim is the. And this is kind of an elemental one, which is interesting to me. Muspelheim is a primordial fiery realm inhabited by fire giants and ruled by Surtur. And Surtur is like not the fire god, but he's the king of the fire people. Okay, so these two are very elemental in nature. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna merge all of these. Nope, we're Helheim. Merge layers. Now, the fact that Helheim is where sick and old people die, that's interesting. Because it's not the same thing as like people who die in battle or people who are. There's other ways to die. And it's interesting. Okay. So we're gonna go to Alfheim. We're gonna merge those. I have no clue about Alfheim. I barely know about Vanaheim. I only know that it's like the fertility gods. That's what I know about them. Helheim. I'm gonna put Jotunheim and Muspelheim together because they're elemental, and also like Svartalheim and Nidavellir is just again I really don't know that much. Subterranean dark realm renowned for the crafting. It's Earth. Like so what I like about all of these, we're gonna put Asgard in the middle, and then we're gonna put ourselves in the middle as well, just because we're self-important, of course. Asgard. We're very self-important, us humans, because you know we don't know anybody else. So I mean, we're gonna go put Midgard right there. Okay, so Asgard is in the middle. I have no reason for putting any of these anywhere, but anyway, so that's sort of like what's kind of floating around. This is most important in my mind. And this is 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is it only 9? Wait, am I missing something? Oh, Svartalheim and Nidavellir. Oh, okay, there's 2. There's actually 2 here, but I'm just gonna not do anything about it. This one here, I'm just gonna do like this. Svartalheim and Nidavellir, those 2 are together, because one of them is Svartalheim is the dwarves. Oh no, other way around. Nidavellir is the dwarves, and Svartalheim is the dark elves. Okay. Oh, there's also Nilfheim. I mean, I could put it in there. Okay, I'm gonna put it in there. Just I have no clue what Nilfheim is. We're gonna put it in there just because I have no clue. All right, what is Nilfheim? I'm gonna look it up. Nilfheim. Nilfheim is. So Nilfheim is the primordial Norse realm of ice, fog, and darkness beneath the root of the world tree Yggdrasil. Yggdrasil is like, yeah. Oh, interesting. Okay, I didn't know how these were all set up. So they actually have like a top and a bottom here. There's so much history. I'm not going to write all this down. Anyway, what color is it? Just give me the color. Blue? I'm seeing a lot of blue. So it's going to be blue. Okay, and then this is... Okay. Alright, now that we're done with that finally. So, basically, we got all these little planets floating around. So in my mind, these are all places that you can go. And so what the Asgardians here, the guys in the middle, have figured out... What the Asgardians here have figured out is they have figured out, I don't know how, I don't know the technology, but they figured out this technology that called the Bifrost. It's basically creating a bridge. Not exactly a bridge, more of like a faster than light travel. So like moving at the speed of light. So that's basically what is going on there. So they go. So imagine. So here they have a person. Okay, there's a person. His name is something that I'm forgetting right now. his name is something, and what he does is he operates the machine that can then send people or whatever to certain locations faster than light or as fast as light, and then you can fly across wherever. So imagine if somebody from Asgard wanted to go to Vanaheim, they would use the Bifrost to go across there. And so the Bifrost is interesting to me because there's the speed of light. The speed of light. Okay, hold on. Let me think about this. Once you get to a certain thing, you kind of enter into this different, like a certain speed, or if you once you start getting into how fast light goes, you start getting into a different, in my mind, a different dimension. And this is not a circle. This is just sort of a like a squiggly line. Like this is the space is a different dimension. And so this dimension is the in between. There's been a lot of like in between. So space and time are not distinct, independent entities. This is from Google here. So space and time are not distinct, independent entities that are unified into a single 4D continuum. I don't know what I just said either, so just hear me out. Known as space-time. While space has 3 dimensions and time acts as a fourth, they differ in that we can move freely in space, whereas time moves unidirectionally. So 40 years from now, I will be whatever age. That's basically the time. So, but right now I can move around. I can go to the grocery store and come back and drink a beer or whatever. That's basically what the AI, the internet is telling me. And so you start to move when space time starts happening. You start to move so quickly, or you start to move at the same speed of light, same as the speed of light. This puts you in a different dimension. And so what this little squiggle thing that I got going on right here is that in between. So in between. The in between. Okay, and so inside of this, there's just like a whole bunch of. Inside of this is where things start to get a little weird. Weird in our sense because we're so used to how physics and how gravity and how everything works here, because that's what we just existed in this space our entire lives, so that's the only thing we know. But once we get to this speed, things start to get a little weird. And so inside of this, so we're going to go ahead and put away all of our merge layers. We're going to put Asgard in there as well. Merge layers. And then there's Midgard and everybody else in there too. If I turn that off, yeah, okay. So inside of this, Is the pink in there as well? The pink is not there. Okay. I'll put the pink in with this. So the in-between. So the idea, and we were talking about life and death. So the Christian idea, again, is, and I can even maybe make this a little bigger to really kind of show like what's going on. The Christian idea is that when you die, your soul gets put in this in-between still. And so it either goes to heaven, it either goes to heaven or it goes to hell. So you're sort of existing, I'd say, well, depending on what you did in your life, I guess. It's either you're up in the atmosphere, your soul is up in the atmosphere, or your soul has gone underground into, you're going down, gravitationally down, you look down, that's where hell is, okay? The pagan thing is that you sort of just kind of float, this is my understanding, I don't know if this is true or not. If there's any pagans in the chat, yeah, you can come after me if you want, but whatever. You sort of just float around in this, but you exist within as one thing, one creature. What the earth is, it's all one thing. Okay. So you sort of float around that, and then you grow up, and you grow up, grow old, die, you get returned back to it, whatever. But anyway, this in between. So there's things inside of this in between, and this is I know I've been talking for literally almost an hour, but this is what I kind of want to get into for this stream today. So the in between, there's a couple little realms rolling around in there. It's been called many different things. It's called many different things. There's a couple examples here. So here is the infinite. I spelled that way wrong. INFINITE. The infinite corridor. So this is actually from a series called Castlevania. A television series called Castlevania. Basically, what the infinite corridor is between space and time. You can open a portal, at least in the series. You can open a portal. Okay. With specific magic. In the series case, it's hell magic, so I don't know what that would look like exactly. But basically, you go into this. So this is the entrance here. So you go through there, and then the infinite corridor is there, and there's just magic going through that. Oh, that's kind of cool. There's magic going through that, and you just kind of like, and through this, ouch. Through this, you can access different places, and this is going back to the Asgard thing, is that you can cut a hole through here and go out here, and just as an example here, you cut a hole through and you go to you start on Earth, or Midgard in this case. You start here, and that's where this was. You go through here, you cut a hole, and you go into Nilfheim. So same thing, and then you cut another hole, go somewhere else, and you end up in Helheim, whatever the case may be. Okay? That's the idea. And so, hell is an interesting thing. So we're going to go into hell. We're going to hell. Hell. Hell is an interesting thing because it's where evil souls get put. So this infinite corridor. Hold on, let me back up. I cannot explain the afterlife in however long. Hell is basically, I'm not going to talk about hell. I'm going to talk about, oh my gosh, the Duat. So the Duat is an interesting thing. So in Egyptian afterlife, the Duat basically is the in-between place where you get judged for, the in-between place that you get judged for your, everything that you've done in your life coming up, right? Ouch. So, sorry, I'm just reading here. I think it's like sort of described as a river or something. Let's see what it looks like. I mean, a lot of the time it's like a boat is well, when somebody dies, they're put on a boat and then sent down the thing to then be judged, like their deeds in their lifetime to be judged. And so that it sort of has a similar it has a similar vibe to it because it's sort of a travel space that you go through, and most people don't stay in, as far as I'm aware. So yeah, and then you can, whatever, however, I think like there's obviously somebody else, some bigger entity than the soul that's going through it most of the time. Um, but that entity has control over where whatever person's soul or whatever being's soul is. So they have the choice on if they go to, obviously these aren't the same mythologies here, but they have a decision on whether they go to Helheim or they go to Niflheim or whatever other underworlds that there may be. So the in between is really, and there's so many different descriptions of all this, but like there's so many different ideas, but they also, like a lot of them end up being similar in a way. So they just like I just said, they line up in a certain way. So I'm going to talk about hell now. Hell is a place after your soul has been judged in the Duat by, I forget what her name is. Is it Anubis? Is it Anubis? Osiris? Somebody somebody decides, unless it's unless from ancient times and now, unless a different god has taken over the management of hell, or unless a different god has taken over the management of the Duat, whoever it is decides where things go. Okay, I'm just coming up with ideas here as I'm sitting here and talking, but we're gonna talk about hell. I don't why I keep saying that, but I don't even know if I have anything to say about hell. Um, hmm. I don't know. I think maybe it was at the beginning when I was talking about this, because I was like the underworld, like that's where people go to be evil, or who are evil to be punished for being evil, and then people go to heaven. Yeah, there's a little bit of judgment in there, people in whatever. But what I like about, I'm gonna we'll talk about how. Okay, so what I kind of like, well, not like, it's just it's an interesting thing, because you know who rules what planet or what space or whatever. So when somebody dies on Earth, it's it's God or the angels, who are just like an extension of God. Um, when somebody dies, it's God. Oh, when somebody dies, it's God who decides whether you, after looking at your whole life, God or angels, after looking at your whole life, they decide, or he or they, whatever, he decides whether you go to heaven or whether you go to hell. And that's the same thing with the Duat, where he decides, but you're kind of just floating around in this time. Purgatory is that in between space where it's being decided. So you're not there forever. Hopefully, I guess there's some writings where whatever, you know. I'm just making shit up, yo. Whew, I'm out of breath. I'm talking so much. I'm just like, I think right now, as I am, over the last couple years, and by when I say years, I'm kind of connecting back to my project in Spain. I'm really interested in that in between space, because there's, no, this is dangerous. This is dangerous talk. But there is a theory that humans, or people, can gain enough power to access these in between spaces and have access to amazing power. I don't want power necessarily, but I just want to see, you know. But then I'm not. I guess it is like, maybe not a power thing, but more of a, I don't know. It's just there's so many things out there that are so interesting and could be investigated, that I want to see them all. Or I want to see as many as I can, just to be in the presence of it. I think that would be very interesting. Um, and to feel something I never felt. You ever done that? I felt a lot of things in my life. I've lived this many years so far. I've felt a lot of things in my life, and I don't know. Maybe it's just a sense of discovery. I don't know, dude. I don't freaking know, dude. Nonetheless, the in between space is what I'm most interested in. So let's talk about God. You know what? Let's talk about God. So God, and we're doing this collab thing again about God's seat. So where God lives, apparently, we're gonna do. Oops. 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 No. Stop it. Where God lives, just in this stream's idea. Where God lives is Kolob, and then from there are all of these different planets in the universe that God or whomever else manages. So Earth being one of them. And I think that's kind of cool because then it turns God into a. It turns God into sort of a interplanetary power, interplanetary something or other. I don't know exactly, but it turns it into. If we as humans right now had access to other stars, if we could get to other stars right now, that would be really cool. Um, because then we would be able to see other planet or like we would be able to see other places that God has influenced, or whatever the case may be. And I think that would be so if we were able to go. So if let's say this one is Earth, we'd be able to travel to this one, and then we would get to know the people who are on here, and then we all know each other because we're all in the Bible's terms, we are made in God's image or whatever. That let's say that they are also made in God's image or whatever. You know, that's kind of cool. So now we all know each other, we're connected, and we get to learn more, and cool things can happen, depending on who it is, of course. We know, you never know who you're gonna meet. That's the thing. I like to be social. I think it's so cool to be social because you get to learn so many new things that you didn't know before, and that's awesome. So I would like to go and meet the aliens. You know what I mean? Because they could be like us, or they could be so fundamentally different from us that it changes how we see the world. Oh, I'm gonna get into something else now. Okay, so you guys see that? Okay, that's awesome. Hold on. All right, so that's the idea of the in between is basically the in between is a space for us to travel. It's a space for us to go into in order to travel between planets because the universe is so big and our lives are well, the universe is so big and you look at stars, you cannot walk there. You cannot walk there. It's not going to happen ever. So we have to figure out a technology that we can cut into or we can just step into in order to get to this next place way easier, because everything is so big and it's going to take so long to get there that our lives are so short that we're going to die before we get there. And so what was the point of traveling all the way there, like just by like getting up and flying up there? What's the point of traveling if we're going to die before we get there? That's, you know, might as well just spend time here, figure some shit out over here. That's basically what I'm saying here. My brain's lighting up right now. So that's basically what I'm trying to say here. So the in between is that. So there's that. Okay, I'm going to merge these guys. We're gonna merge all of these guys here, and then we're gonna put this way. So we're gonna go back to the in between. So that was God. That was the Jesus. Well, the Kolob part was the Latter-day Saints, but or Mormon, but that was the Jesus God. So this part, that part is Jesus God. Okay. Now there's something else. Now this one gets a little funky, and I really like it. So I'm not even making art today. I've just decided. I think it's just what's gonna happen. I'm just gonna be talking about my interests. What's his name? Oh, what is his name? Dang, what is his name? There's a writer who does really weird fiction. Unfathomable God. Dark. Oh, Old God. Old God from... Old Ones... Lovecraft, that's his name. So, Lovecraft. So, H.P. Lovecraft. Inspiration from... So, this guy H.P. Lovecraft, he was an interesting guy. Very interesting feller. When he was a writer, and he told gothic tales of this weird fiction thing that he from his nightmares when he was a child. Okay, so when he was a child, this is just from AI overview. This is not exactly whatever. So when he was a child, he had intense recurring nightmares starting around age 5, following his grandmother's death in 1896. And cosmicism is like a philosophy that him and his contemporaries were thinking about. Is the idea that humanity is insignificant in a vast, indifferent universe. And contemporary and astronomical discoveries. So the AI is not really helping me here, but basically it's about... I'm gonna be right back. I have to use the restroom. I'm gonna go ahead and hit the BRB. Be right back. Just give me a minute. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. So anyway, Lovecraft. That's who I'm talking about. So his fiction is about. So I guess at the time in 18, like the early 1900s, they were making some astronomical discoveries about like the planets in the solar system. Just they're able to actually see the planets. I mean, I think they were doing that in the 1500s too, but shut up. Anyway, uh sorry, I'm just reading some stuff. So when he was a kid, he would have kid to adulthood, he would have um these night terrors as a child, okay? About this unfathomable being that was so much bigger than him and so much larger than him. I guess it is sort of a, in his heart, a manifestation, or in his mind at least, a manifestation of the vastness of the universe, about how small he felt looking up into the stars and realizing, wow, this is so big. As I was saying before, this is like the whatever. It's so big that he can't. He's just, it's so big, whatever. Um, and so a couple of these dreams apparently were about this creature called Cthulhu, which is this huge. Okay, what is? I'm gonna look up. Hold on. What is Cthulhu? So Cthulhu. I'll just go straight to the Wikipedia. Cthulhu is a fictional cosmic entity. Invented by Lovecraft in 1928, the name Cthulhu was probably chosen by the word Cthalonic, ancient Greek of earth, as apparently suggested by Lovecraft's. Blah, 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 blah. All right, this is not helping me. There's too much information for such a short amount of time. Cthulhu is a fictional, gigantic cosmic entity. It is described as an octopus-like, with an octopus-like head, a rubbery body, claws, and wings, who slumbers in the sunken Pacific city of real, however they say it. As the Great Old One, it is a worshipped deity that causes insanity in humans. Now, the insanity part is what is kind of interesting to me here. The insanity part is really interesting to me because going back to this in between, or this where is it? Going back to this in between thing, it's like there's so much space in between things that I think at the time how he was feeling as he was writing it was that it was so, things were so, like other planets or other spaces were so far away that again that they were never in his lifetime, even if he started walking or running right now, he would never be able to get to those planets or those stars because it's so far. and it's sort of I think like it left an impression on him that he felt so insignificant and small that this huge thing is sort of, or this series of huge things that are they're just in the universe. I don't know, dude. I'm talking about things that don't make sense, that are fiction, but they're so extremely interesting. Um, it's an interesting thing. What I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna begin to write. I'm gonna write my own fiction right now. All right, we're gonna figure this out. I'm gonna begin to write my own fiction right the fuck now. We're gonna switch to window capture. We're gonna go to. That's fine. Notes. Okay, you guys can see my notes. You don't need to see what I'm actually. I wish I could, like. Oh, I guess I can actually. We're gonna go into my notes app. I was talking about all this stuff just because I don't, you know what? I feel like this is getting into a personal thing. Like I was showing you guys my interests and everything like that, but I think what I'm about to write is going to be very personal as opposed to. So I think I need some time. It's going to be raw and it's not going to be right. Well, not right, but you know, it's going to be right to me, whatever. This has been kind of a weirder stream. I haven't made any art at all. I've just been talking. But I think I'm gonna end the stream here now, which I've been doing it for about an hour and a half, so it's been interesting. I mean, I did something. But I think I'm gonna end the stream here, and at some point in the future, you'll see this. So, thank you. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time.